Hello everyone, this is the 5th Epical Revelation Fellowship. I'm Reverend Dr. Roger Paul, and today is August 27th, 2014. And we're going to study from the Urantia book, paper 21, The Paradise Creator Sons. And let me give you the page number for that. 234.1. If you're in the new book, it's paper 2101. Alright, let's say a little prayer and we'll get started. Father, thank you for such a beautiful day today, and we thank you for allowing us to come together and share this wonderful revelation, that we might learn from each other and share this with others. We pray that you'll open our hearts and minds, that we might retain this a little bit better, and that we might share this and make this part of our lives. And we thank you for our Creator Son. And we thank you for the lives and the bestowals he made so that this is possible. And we give you the praise in your Son's name, Michael, Jesus of Nazareth. Amen. All right.
Amen. Amen.
Paper 21, The Paradise Creator Sons. Let me pull my desk back here a little bit. And Rodney, would you like to start us out tonight?
All right, I'm going to catch up here.
Oh, let me ask you, do I have video tonight with y'all?
No, it's still.
Really?
I see the Urantia book, paper 21 behind you, but you're still.
I'm still, it's not moving. Well, don't worry about it
It's circling on my computer.
Really? Well, don't worry about it too much, because we only got one picture slide, so it's going to come right out of the book tonight. So you don't have to worry about seeing me too much. You can listen. You have to look at me. My wonderful wife is commenting on how she's got to look at me. Some people aren't as blessed as others, right? Would y'all like me to stop and start my video and see if it pops in for y'all tonight?
What to do?
Yeah, let me try that just in case. See if it'll come back up. Sometimes that works. Not always, though. We'll see. All right. Paradise Creator Sons. Rodney, you can take off.
Okay. The Creator Sons are the makers and rulers of the local universes of time and space. These universe creators and sovereigns are of dual origin, embodying the characteristics of God the Father and God the Son. But each Creator Son is different from every other. Each is unique in nature as well as in personality. Each is the only begotten Son of the perfect deity ideal of his origin.
Okay, so since they're unique, each and every one of them is the only begotten Son of God the Father and God the Son, of that perfect ideal at that moment when they were created, okay, for that particular universe. And for those at home that don't know what we're talking about when we say Creator Sons, there are 700,000 Creator Sons, one for each local universe, plus another 300,000 that's in reserve. And Jesus of Nazareth was one of these 700,000 Creator Sons. And he created our local universe. That's what we're talking about here. Okay? And he is the Son of God. And he is the Son of God the Father and God the Son. He's the combination of the two. Okay? And that's what we're talking about here. And I know this is not mentioned in the Bible anywhere, so if you're listening at home, you can look all you want, you won't find this. You'll only find out that Jesus is the Son of God. He's one of many sons of God, just like we are sons of God. We are faith sons of God. But he is one of the 700,000 sons of God that create their own local universe, and we are his creatures. So in essence, if you want to think of our local God, our local universe God, that is Jesus of Nazareth. God the Father is the God of all creation, all the universes, okay, and that's what the difference is. And notice here it says, each is unique in nature as well as in personality. So no two of these Creator Sons are exactly alike. They all have the same purpose. They all have the same purpose of bringing us God the Father and the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man down to mankind and helping us understand this. But that is the only way they are alike. They are unique in all other aspects, including their personality, just as like we are all unique. Okay? And this is the only slide of the night with the picture, so enjoy it. Okay. This is one of those papers that has very few slides. And what we have here is the universal Father and the eternal Son comes together in concept and creates a Michael Son. Jesus is the order of Michael, and this is the order of the Creator Sons. Okay? And in the universe, Jesus is called Michael, or he's got a unique name also, but he's considered of the order of Michael, who was the name of the very first Creator Son. Okay? All right, here we go. Millie, do you want to take the next round? Are you?
I can do that.
You can do this? Okay, go ahead.
In the vast work of organizing, evolving, and perfecting a local universe, these high sons always enjoy the sustaining approval of the universal Father. The relationship of the Creator Sons with their Paradise Father is touching and superlative. No doubt, the profound affection of the deity parents for their divine progeny is the wellspring of that beautiful and well-nigh divine love which even mortal parents bear for their children.
Okay, so you think of God the Father and God the Son as the mother and father. That's why we sometimes say God the Father and God the Mother. God the Son is actually the mother of all sons of creation, right? So you could say, when you pray to God, you could say God the Father and God the Mother. That's fine, because they fill in both parental positions, right? Okay, and it's just like the relationship of a man and wife when they have a son or a daughter, and it works the same way. All right?
These primary paradise sons are personalized as Michaels. As they go forth from paradise to found their universes, they are known as Creator Michaels. When settled in supreme authority, they are called Master Michaels. Sometimes we refer to the sovereign of your universe of Nebanon as Christ Michael. Always and forever do they reign after the order of Michael, that being the designation of the first son of their order and nature.
So this is where the term Michael comes from, right? They're considered the order of Michael. Now, our son is a master son. He has fulfilled all 7 of his bestowals of the different creatures that he's created, and he has earned the sovereignty of his local universe. And that's why he's called the master son. The original or firstborn Michael has never experienced incarnation as a material being, but 7 times he passed through the experience of spiritual creature ascent on the 7 circuits of Havona, advancing from the outer spheres to the innermost circuit of the central creation. The order of Michael knows the grand universe from one end to the other. There is no essential experience of any of the children of time and space in which the Michaels have not personally participated. They are in fact partakers not only of the divine nature, but also of the nature, meaning all natures from the highest to the lowest. So the firstborn Michael, the very first Michael ever created, did his experience around the 7 circuits of Havona that surround paradise. And we know that there's no mortal beings there. So they did a spiritual being, 7 different spiritual beings. But all other Michaels, since their universe is in the 7 super universes, they all have experienced the mortal experience. Okay?
You know what, Roger, it might be noted that in this master universe, which contains everything spiritual and physical, that the Michaels are the only beings that can actually do this.
That's right. They are the only beings. Well, now,
incarnated in different beings.
no, that's not exactly true, Rodney, because the magisterial sons also do this. Okay, they can go through 7 bestowals also. Actually, Actually, they can go through 7 bestowals as a mortal if they choose. Okay, but they do go through 7 bestowals, all the magisterial sons, just like the Michaels, eventually, and then they become part of the staff of the Michaels. Okay.
Well, I forgot about the Melchizedek as well. So.
Well, the Melchizedeks usually don't do bestowals, 7 bestowals. They don't usually only do emergency missions. Yeah, if they come down as bestowals. But the
Are we the only planet that has Melchizedeks?
no, every local universe has Melchizedeks.
Okay.
It's part of the plan of the grand universe at large. And every one of them has a bright morning star, which is Gabriel, which is the firstborn. And they also have evening stars, okay? So each universe is pretty much has the same type of personnel, okay? Did we read that? Okay, Rodney, would you take the next one?
The original Michael is the presiding head of the primary paradise sons when they assemble for conference at the center of all things. Not long since on Universa, we recorded a universal broadcast of a conclave extraordinary on the eternal isle of 150,000 creator sons assembled in the parental presence and engaged in deliberations having to do with the progress of the unification and stabilization of the universe of universes. This was a selected group of sovereign Michael's 7-fold bestowal sons.
Okay, so imagine this. This happened in front of the parents, so that would be God the Father and God the Son, on paradise. So they had this conclave of 150,000 Michaels in front of God the Father and God the Son, with the deliberations of the stabilization of the universe of universes. So they were discussing what they could do to help bring about the plan of God. Does that make sense?
You know, that's strange. I've been in an auditorium before, or stadium of 80,000. This is twice that number.
That's twice the number.
But holy mackerel.
And all the Michaels at this conclave were 7-fold bestowal sons. In other words, they were all master Michaels that had finished all 7 of the bestowals. So that tells us we know at least 150,000 of the Michaels in the 7 super universes have finished all 7 bestowals.
It says this was a selected
group. That's right. All right.
Ooh.
Millie, would you take the next one? Order and nature of the creator sons.
Origin and nature of creator sons. When the fullness of absolute spiritual ideation in the eternal Son encounters the fullness of absolute personality concept in the universal Father, when such a creative union is finally and fully attained, when such an absolute identity of spirit and such an infinite oneness of personality concept occur, then, right then and there, without the loss of anything of personality or prerogative by either of the infinite deities, there flashes into full-fledged being a new and original Creator Son, the only begotten Son of the perfect ideal and the powerful idea, whose union produces this new Creator personality of power and perfection.
Now, this sounds like this just goes on right along all the time, doesn't it? Okay, so these creator sons are created as the universal Father and the eternal Son comes to this specific point. I guess when they feel like they need a new creator son. And this happens over and over and over and over again, and each one is unique. Okay?
Each creator son is the only begotten and only begettable offspring of the perfect union of the original concepts of the two infinite and eternal and perfect minds of the ever-existent creators of the universe of universes. There never can be another such son, because each creator son is the unqualified, finished, and final expression and embodiment of all, of every phase, of every feature, of every possibility, of every divine reality that could, throughout all eternity, ever be found in, expressed by, or evolved from those divine creative potentials which united to bring this Michael Son into existence. Each creator son is the absolute of the united deity concepts, which constitutes his divine origin.
So everyone is unique, and as they're created, they have all the possibilities of the Creator Son in each and every one of them, right? They have the Father's all the way, all the absolutes involved, and the Son's all the Word of God through the Son becomes the Word through these sons. So all the attributes of both parents get put together in each one of these sons, each of these individual sons. All right. The divine nature of these Creator sons are, in principle, derived equally from the attributes of both paradise parents. All partake of the fullness of the divine nature of the universal Father and of the creative prerogatives of the eternal Son. But as we observe the practical outworking of the Michael functions in the universes, we discern apparent differences. Some Creator sons appear to be more like God the Father, others more like God the Son. For example, the trend of administration in the universe of Nebadon, that's our universe, suggests that its creator and ruling son is one whose nature and character more resemble that of the eternal mother son. It should be further stated that some universes are provided over by Paradise Michaels who appear equally to resemble God the Father and God the Son. And these observations are in no sense implied criticisms. They're simply a recording of fact. So some Creator sons resemble more the Son, and some Creator sons resemble more the Father. And ours seem to resemble more the Son, right? Michael, or Jesus. Rodney.
Wait a minute. They're referring to this as the mother son, and that's what you were talking about, that the son is basically the mother of the union.
That's
that
right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
exactly right.
The eternal Son is referred to as the universal mother
Yeah.
in paper 6, I think it is.
Yeah, they're considered the universal mother son. In other words, the Father is the Father of all creation, and the Son is the mother of all creation as the created beings. Right?
Okay.
So
Good.
that's why they
Okay.
call him the mother son. Okay? And really you cannot separate God the Father as a female and male. And that's important too. But there is no sexes in the spiritual beings, really. Okay? There's more a positive and negative flow, you could say. But in God the Father, you have both God and Mother, and Father and Mother. And God the Son, you have both Father and Mother, right? But in the union, the Son is more like the sense of the Mother, and the Father is more like God the Father, right? So that's the only differences. But both senses is in both deities. You can't separate it completely.
Okay, we've got your picture. You're moving now. What
Okay.
happened the last time Rodney read?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You-
up there.
Millie, would you take the next one?
Oh,
I think it was
no,
Rodney.
I'm sorry, Rodney. It's your turn. Yeah.
Okay. I do not know the exact number of Creator sons in existence, but I have good reason for believing that there are more than 700,000. Now, we know that there are exactly 700,000 unions of days, and no more are being created. We also observe that the ordained plans of the present universe age seem to indicate that one union of days is to be stationed in each local universe as the counseling ambassador of the Trinity. We note further that the constantly increasing number of Creator sons already exceeds the stationary number of the unions of days. But concerning the destiny of the Michaels beyond 700,000, we have never been informed.
Okay, so let's think about this. There are exactly 700,000 union of days. What is the number that's assigned to our union of days? That's 611,211, right? Oh, 121. I'm sorry. I did that last time, didn't I? 611,121. What is our local universe Mother Spirit's number? 611,121, right? What is Michael's number? 611,121. So, the unions of days were created with the thought of the Son being created and the local universe mother spirit, right? And we know from what Jesus has said that the union of days is his elder brother, right? So the union of days was created first, wasn't he? He's the representation of the Trinity. The Creator Son was created next, and that is what? The representation of God the Father and God the Son, right? The local universe mother spirit was created next, and she is the representation of what? The infinite spirit. Really the combination of the Creator Son and the infinite spirit, right? Mostly
Yes.
the infinite spirit. So it's interesting how we have the dual origin beings, the Son and the Mother Spirit, and then we have the tri-origin being, which is the union of days, represent the Trinity, right? So all of them were planned out this way with the exact same number, right? And what he's stating here, that they know that there's exactly 700,000 union of days, and as far as they know, no more being created. But the Michaels are constantly being created, okay, which is interesting. So it makes you wonder: are these the Michaels of the of the outer space levels?
The other 300,000.
The other 300,000, and any coming after that, right? Because we know the Michaels have to have what? They have to have their complement, the local universe mother spirits. So they must be creating all along too, right?
But they have no unions of days.
But they have no unions of days for these yet, which is kind of interesting. So it makes you wonder how this is going to work out. You know, it's kind of a mystery.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go on. Creators of the local universe. Millie.
Number two, creators of local universes. The Paradise Sons of the primary order are the designers, creators, builders, and administrators of their respective domains. The local universes of time and space, the basic creative units of the 7 evolutionary superuniverses. A creator son is permitted to choose the space site for his future cosmic activity, but before he may begin even the physical organization of his universe, he must spend a long period of observation devoted to the study of the effects of his older brothers in various creations located in the super-universe of his projected action. And prior to all of this, the Michael son will have completed his long, unique experience of paradise observation and Havana training.
So before they go out and just create universes, they have to go to other universes and watch older creator sons do their thing, right? So this
Checking out the environmental impact.
That's right. Checking out how to do it, why they do it, what happens when they do certain things, that sort of thing. So
Hands-on experience.
you can see why it takes billions of years to train these paradise sons before they're ready to go out and start creating their local universe. You see that? And it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, they're not born with the knowledge.
That's right. They're not born with it. They have to be trained just like we do. All right?
When a creator son departs from paradise to embark upon the adventure of universe making, to become the head, virtually the god, of the local universe of his own organization, then for the first time he finds himself in intimate contact with, and in many respects dependent upon, the third source and center. The infinite spirit, though abiding with the Father and the Son at the center of all things, is destined to function as the actual and effective helper of each creator son. Therefore is each creator son accompanied by a creative daughter of the infinite spirit, that being who is destined to become the divine minister, the mother spirit of the new local universe.
So they have to have the infinite spirit involved, and she is involved, or he is involved, through these creative daughters, right? The local universe mother spirits. The departure of a Michael son on this occasion forever liberates his creator prerogatives from the paradise sources and centers, subject only to certain limitations inherent in the pre-existence of these sources and centers, and to certain other antecedent powers and presences. Among these limitations to the otherwise all-powerful creator prerogatives of the local universe father are the following. Number 1, energy matter. is dominated by the infinite spirit. Before any new forms of things, great or small, may be created, before any new transformations of energy matter may be attempted, a creator son must secure and consent and working cooperation of the infinite spirit. So they can't do anything without the permission of the infinite spirit. Everything to do with energy and matter. And that is what the infinite spirit's domain is, energy and matter. That's why she's also the what? She's got the whole host of supporting spirits, the angelic corps. 2. Creature designs and types are controlled by the eternal Son. Before a creator son may engage in the creation of any new type of being, any new design of creature, he must secure the consent of the eternal and original mother son. In other words, before he can make any type of being, he has to get it approved through the eternal Son. 3. Personality. Personality is designed and bestowed by the universal Father. Plain and simple, period. Only the personal Father bestows personality in any new creatures, right? Rodney.
Okay. The types and patterns of mind are determined by the pre-creation factors of being. After these have been associated to constitute a creature, personal or otherwise, mind is the endowment of the third source and center, the universal source of mind ministering to all beings below the level of paradise creators.
So all beings below the level of the paradise creator, the creator's sons, right, and the local universe mother spirit, all mind comes from the infinite spirit. No, on the ledge up here. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Millie, would you take the next one? Thank you. Turn your mic back on, Millie. We can't hear you.
I'm just reading mine. The control of spirit designs and types depends on the level of their manifestation. In the last analysis, spiritual design is controlled by the Trinity, or by the pre-Trinity spirit endowments of the Trinity personalities, Father, Son, and Spirit.
So all spirit designs really originate from the Trinity, right? Okay, and the creator sons, creative mother spirits, and all these beings that create these things do it by the pattern of paradise and the sons, right? In the infinite spirit, okay?
When such a perfect and divine Son has taken possession of the space side of his chosen universe, when the initial problems of universe materialization and of gross equilibrium have been resolved, when he has formed an effective and cooperative working union with the complemental daughter of the infinite spirit, then do this universe Son and this universe Spirit initiate that liaison which is designed to give origin to the innumerable host of their local universe children. In connection with this event, the creative spirit focalization of the paradise infinite spirit becomes changed in nature, taking on the personal qualities of the mother spirit of the local universe.
So they take the if you would, the circuits and the power from the infinite spirits, and she molds it into her own local universe creations, right? So the infinite spirit still controls everything, but it's the mother spirit that actually manipulates that energies and matter into the beings that is to be in that universe. Does that make sense? So we see how the infinite spirit's still involved. Notwithstanding that all creator sons are divinely like their paradise parents, none exactly resembles another. Each is unique, diverse, exclusive, and original in natures as well as in personality. And since they are all architects and makers of the life plans of their respective realms, this very diversity assures that their domains will also be diverse in every form and phase of Michael-derived living existence, which may be created or subsequently evolved therein. Hence, the orders of creatures native to the local universes are quite varied. No two are administered or inhabited by dual origin native beings who are in all respects identical. Within any super universe, one half of their inherent attributes are quite alike, being derived from the uniform creative spirits. The other half vary, being derived from the diversified creator sons. But such diversity does not characterize those creatures of soul origin in the creative spirit, nor those imported beings who are native to the central or super universes. So, think about this. What they're telling us is the creator sons are totally unique. So they bring in half of it, right? The other half comes from the local universe mother spirits, and they're all identical or close to identical. So you get a uniqueness and a sameness at the same time when they create together. So all the creatures throughout all the local universes are different because the creator sons are in sense a type of the same through the local universe mother spirits, right? So you have a sameness and a uniqueness involved in all the creatures. So when you go out through all the 7 super universes, you're going to find a diversity of types of creatures, right? But they will have, but they will still have a oneness, a sameness all the way through, right? That makes sense?
It does. It's interesting.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
very interesting. All right, Rodney, would you take the next one?
When a Michael sun is absent from his universe, its government is directed by the firstborn native being, the bright and morning star. The local universe chief executive. The advice and counsel of the Union of Days is invaluable at such times. During these absence, a creator sun is able to invest the associated mother spirit with the over-control of his spiritual presence on the inhabited worlds and in the hearts of his mortal children. And the mother spirit of the lower universe remains always at its headquarters, extending her fostering care and spiritual ministry to the uttermost parts of such an evolutionary domain.
Okay, so their firstborn, that's the bright and morning star. That's the union between the Michael and the local universe mother spirit. We call him Gabriel, right? That's the first being that's created by this union, these two beings, okay? And Gabriel becomes the chief executive. So if Michael has to go to paradise, he takes over the administrative part of running the local universe, okay? And he's assisted by a union of days, the Trinity representative for that local universe. So if Gabriel ever has a problem as to what should be done, he can always turn to the union of days and he will get the opinion of the Trinity, right? Now, when Michael has to be away from the local universe, like on this conclave or something, his spiritual presence, what are they talking about there? We're talking about the spirit of truth, aren't we? And if he has to leave, then it's the local universe mother spirit that assumes the control of this spiritual presence of Michael while he's absent. Okay? So never ever again after a Michael son becomes a seventh or a master son, does his spirit of truth ever change in the local universe? Because even if he's not there, the local universe mother spirit administers the spirit of truth. Just like the Holy Spirit. It's always there. That's her influence. Right? So she never leaves the local universe headquarters, ever. Because she is literally the master controller of all things physical and mindal in that local universe, right? Including the Spirit of Truth and the Holy Spirit. Okay? What were you going to say, Rodney?
She more or less has to be there.
Yeah, she more or less has to be there. She cannot leave under any circumstances. Right.
I was, this might not have anything to do with this paper. I always wondered why the Spirit of Truth was held back from our planet until Jesus died.
Uh-huh.
Why was it held back, do you remember?
Because that's the way it's done on every single planet throughout the universe, Rodney. Even if we have a magisterial son as the Son of God, we studied this last time, but even if we have a magisterial son, the Spirit of Truth is poured out on the planet when he has finished his bestowal, but it changes once the local universe sovereign has finished his seventh and final bestowal, and then it changes at that time to the Michael Spirit of Truth. Okay? So it's the influence of the Michael Spirit of Truth. And that's why that changes. So every single planet has the Spirit of Truth poured out, but it never happens until a Paradise Son of God has had a bestowal on the planet. And it doesn't matter if it's a Michael son or a magisterial son, they're equal in service to that planet. So, and that we talked about this last time, and you were on vacation, but the Michael son and the magisterial sons, either one's mission does the same thing, right? Brings God the Father, the fatherhood of God, and the brotherhood of man to the world, and then right as soon as that bestowal ends, the Spirit of Truth is automatically poured out on that planet. Okay. Now, after the Michael son has done his 7 bestowals, even if it's a magisterial son that comes to the planet, then it's the Michael Spirit of Truth that gets poured out on all planets after that. Right? It changes slightly. So.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think Rodney. Millie, would you take the next one?
Yes, but I have a question.
Go ahead.
This says that when he leaves, the bright and morning star, that's Gabriel,
Yeah.
is the local universe chief executive.
Yeah.
But during his bestowals, Emmanuel would presently assume authority in Nebuchadnezzar while Michael is away.
Yeah, and that's a standard procedure because they want to make sure while he's away and unconscious. See, he has a consciousness when he goes away, even though he's away, Millie, where when they do a bestowal as a babe, a human babe, then he loses all consciousness of his divinity till he reaches a certain age. So that's why they assign a union of days to take charge of everything, because at that point the Paradise Father, the Son, and the Spirit guarantee the local universe to be safe until he returns. So Gabriel actually steps in as the chief executive, but it's really that union of days that has all authority vested in him, because he is the representation of the Trinity, while these creator sons are unconscious, basically, of their divinity. Okay, and that's
so
why
Emmanuel is an Ancient of Days?
No, Emmanuel is a union of days.
And he comes in as well as Gabriel.
That's right. When Michael did his bestowal, the union of days, he relinquished his local universe power to the union of days, which was Emmanuel, right? But Gabriel was still the first chief executive. He was in charge of the administration. But Emmanuel was really in charge of the whole local universe until he returned. And then when Michael returned, then Michael takes back over, but Gabriel still stays the chief executive, right? He's still the chief executive of Michael, of the local universe. All celestial beings are under Gabriel, all of them, okay? So he's like the president of our local universe, and Michael is sovereign and king of our local universe, if you want to think of it that way.
And Emmanuel is a union of days.
Emmanuel's he's a union of days and the representative of the Trinity. Right.
Got it.
Okay. All right, you want to take this next?
Yes, the personal presence of a Creator Son in his local universe is not necessary to the smooth running of an established material creation. Such sons may journey to paradise and still their universes swing on through space. They may lay down their Lines of power to incarnate as the children of time, still their realms whirl on about their respective centers. No material organization is independent of the absolute gravity grasp of paradise or of the cosmic overcontrol inherent in the space presence of the unqualified absolute.
So no matter what happens, if all else fails, the unqualified absolute guarantees that the universe goes on the way it's supposed to, right? All right.
3. Local universe sovereignty. A creator son is given the range of a universe by the consent of the Paradise Trinity, and with the confirmation of the supervising master spirit of the super-universe concerned. Such action constitutes title of physical possession, a cosmic leasehold, but the elevation of a Michael son from this initial and self-limited stage of rulership to the experiential supremacy of self-earned sovereignty comes as a result of his own personal experiences in the work of universe creation and incarnated bestowal. Until the achievement of bestowal-earned sovereignty, he rules as vicegerent of the universal Father.
So until the Creator Son does all 7 of his bestowals and is declared sovereign of his universe, he rules as the vicegerent of the universal Father. Just like Machiaventia Melchizedek is the vicegerent of Michael as the planetary prince on this planet, right? He's assigned as the vicegerent representing Michael. Now Michael does the same thing, works as the vicegerent of the universal Father until he finishes his 7th bestowal, and then he earns the right as sovereign of his local universe on his own. Right? That's why this is so important. Okay? A creator son could assert full sovereignty over his personal creation at any time, but he wisely chooses not to. If prior to passing through the creature bestowals, he assumes an unearned supreme sovereignty, the paradise personalities resident on his local universe would withdraw. But this has never happened throughout all the creations of time and space. They're free will, so they could physically assume their sovereignty, but none of them do. They stick to the plan as representative of the Father, right? Rodney.
The fact of creatorship implies the fullness of sovereignty, but the Michaels choose to experientially earn it, thereby retaining the full cooperation of all paradise personalities attached to the local universe administration. We know of no Michael who ever did otherwise, but they all could. They are truly free will sons.
So they earn their universes, don't they? Okay? And that's the difference. And it's interesting here that the paradise personalities attached to the local universe administration would withdraw if they did that. And all of them want those paradise personalities to permanently stay attached to the local universe. The first thing Michael did after he made the local universe mother spirit his creative equal in ruling the sovereignty of his universe, the next act he did was what? He asked Emmanuel, the Ancients of Days, the Union of Days, to stay on permanently, right? So they asked that the influence of the Trinity and Paradise, all of those personalities, to permanently stay with the local universe, because it's the smart thing to do, to have the representation of the Trinity. Okay, Millie, would you take the next one? Turn your mic back on. I want you to take the next one and the list too that's coming up next.
Okay. The sovereignty of a creator son in a local universe passes through 6, perhaps 7 stages of experiential manifestation. These appear in the following order. One, initial vicegerent sovereignty, the solitary provisional authority exercised by a creator son before the acquirement of personal qualities by the associated creative spirit.
Pause there for a second, Melanie. Let's go through these one at a time and make more sense. Okay, so this is a nerd initial status when he comes in before he's finished his sovereignty, right? Okay, go on, Millie.
Number two, conjoint vicegerent sovereignty, the joint rule of the paradise pair subsequent to the personality achievement of the universe mother spirit.
Okay, now this is him and the local universe mother spirit conjointly taking over sovereignty, right, of the local universe. And this is as a vicegerent, again, of the universal father and the infinite spirit, right? Okay?
Augmenting vicegerent sovereignty, the advancing authority of a creator son during the period of his 7 creature bestowals.
So with each creature...
This one threw me, and I had to go to paper, in case anybody's listening, paper 119, the last paper before the Jesus papers, tells you about his 7 creature bestowals.
That's right, the 7 bestowals of Michael before his life, right, on earth.
Yes.
Okay, and this augmenting vicegerent sovereignty changes with each of the 7 bestowals because he's becoming what? Closer and closer and closer to earn his sovereignty of his own right, right? Okay, Millie, go on.
Number 4, supreme sovereignty, the settled authority following the completion of the 7th bestowal. In Nebadon, supreme sovereignty dates from the completion of Michael's bestowal on Urantia, and it has existed just slightly over 1900 years of your planetary time.
Now we know it's 2,000 years of our planetary time, don't we? Because this was about a little after 1900. Now, the supreme sovereignty, this is what we call the master son, right? Because he finished his bestowal, he died, resurrected himself from the dead, and lives on, right? So he becomes supreme sovereign of the local universe, right? Okay, Millie, let's keep going. You still there, Millie?
Yes.
Okay.
Augmenting supreme sovereignty, the advanced relationship growing out of the settling of the majority of the creature domains in light and life. This stage pertains to the unachieved future of your local universe.
So as we get more and more close to light and life or perfection, then Michael's sovereignty changes once more, we become more perfect, right? And that changes his sovereignty. All right, go on, Millie.
Number 6, Trinitarian sovereignty, exercise subsequent to the settling of the entire local universe in light and life.
And
not
that's,
there yet.
No, we're not there yet. That's the whole super universe of Urantia, right? When that
Yes.
settles in light and life, that will be considered Trinitarian sovereignty. Okay, and then we got one more. Go ahead, Millie.
Unrevealed sovereignty, the unknown relationships of a future universe age.
And this is the 4 outer space levels, right? I'm going to add those other outer space levels regardless, right? The 4 outer space levels, and that's what they're talking about. The unrevealed sovereignty. That's to come yet, right? All right, Millie or Diane.
In accepting the initial vicegerent sovereignty of a projected local universe, a creator, Michael, takes an oath to the Trinity not to assume supreme sovereignty until the 7 creature bestowals have been completed and certified by the super-universe rulers. But if a Michael son could not, at will, assert such unearned sovereignty, there would be no meaning in taking an oath not to do so.
Okay, that's straightforward and it makes perfect sense. Okay, so he takes an oath to the Trinity. He will not assume full sovereignty of his universe till he finishes the 7 bestowals. Okay? Even in the pre-bestowal ages, a creator son rules his domain well nigh supremely when there is no dissent of any of its parts. Limited rulership could hardly be manifest as sovereignty were never challenged. The sovereignty exercised by a pre-bestowal creator son in a universe without rebellion is no greater than a universe with rebellion. But in the first instance, sovereignty limitations are not apparent. In the second, they are. So because we had Lucifer rebelling, that augmented the sovereignty of Jesus, did it not? Okay, so it made his proving his sovereignty that much more special, right? Because of the rebellion in our local universe. All right. If ever the authority or administration of a creator son is challenged, attacked, or jeopardized, he is eternally pledged to uphold, protect, defend, and if necessary, retrieve his personal creation. How about that?
What does that mean?
I'm going to tell you. Such sons can be troubled or harassed only by the creatures of their own making or by higher beings of their own choosing. It might be inferred that higher beings, those of original, on levels above a local universe,
Those of origin.
Those of origin on levels above a local universe would be unlikely to trouble a creator's son, and this is true. But they could if they chose to. Virtue is volitional and personality. Righteousness is not automatic in free will creatures. So they could give him a hard time if they chose to. I want to go back up here though, where it says, protect, defend, and if necessary, retrieve his personal creation. What does that mean? That means a Michael son and a creative mother spirit are responsible that if their entire local universe goes into rebellion, they have to retrieve all physical matter, all beings, and start over again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God knows it's like the flood of Noah.
Yeah, it's like wipe the slate clean and then let's start over. Right?
That's what that means, though, huh?
That's what that means. They must be able to retrieve, if necessary, their personal creation. And that would be Michael and the local universe created mother spirit. So, do you think rebellion in their universe is a serious thing? You betcha it is. That's why they say in the book, several places, the wages of sin is what?
Death.
Death, right? That's where that comes from. So,
What was Michael doing during the rebellion? Was he doing something to help put it down?
Yeah, he was going through the 7 bestowals during the rebellion. Okay? And that's important because by finishing the 7th bestowal on our planet, he literally settled for all time that he is the sovereign God of our universe. Right? So he could make a decision to crush all rebellion anytime he chose to. But what does he do? He does like every other creator son, and he passes judgment on to whom? The Ancients of Days. That's the super universe judges, right? Okay? And that's the most smart thing to do, because it's hard for him, having been through 7 bestowals and experienced these 7 different types of beings, for him to judge them with unharshly, right? So, and that's part of his mercy, right? The mercy of Christ. So it does make it interesting. But this is the only place in the book that I remember reading that he is responsible with a creative mother spirit to retrieve their creation, personal creation, if the worst thing happens, right?
Yeah.
So it is in here. Okay. All right, Rodney.
Okay. Before the completion of the bestowal career, a creator's son rules with certain self-imposed limitations of sovereignty. But subsequent to his finished bestowal service, he rules by virtue of his actual experience in the form and likeness of his manifold creatures. When a creator's son has 7 times sojourned among his creatures, when the bestowal career is finished, then is he supremely settled or yes, supremely settled in universe authority. He has become a master son, a sovereign and supreme ruler.
And he does that through experiences, every type of being, right? So he can say with full authority, I've been there. I know what it's about.
Been there and done that.
Been there, done that. That's right. And you get the long one again, Millie.
Thank you. You know, it's so small on the wall behind you, I have to read it out of my book.
That's fine.
The technique of obtaining supreme sovereignty over a local universe involves the following 7 experiential steps. 1. Experientially to penetrate 7 creature levels of being through the technique of incarnated bestowal in the very likeness of the creature on the level concerned.
And Millie, this is what we talk about when we're talking about the different levels of beings, you know, all the way from Melchizedek's down to mortals, right? And that includes all of them in between, okay? All right, go ahead.
Number
Millie.
2, to make an experiential, oh shit, hold on.
Gonna block that one out.
I'll just leave it in.
Okay. To make an experiential consecration to each phase of the sevenfold will of paradise deity as it is personified in the 7 master spirits.
Okay, so he has to make a representation of the paradise deity as it is explained or portrayed in all 7 of the 7 master spirits. Okay? All right, let's go on, Millie.
3. To traverse each of the 7 experiences on the creature level simultaneously with the execution of one of the 7 consecrations to the will of the paradise deity.
Okay, now in paper 119 it tells us on each of the bestowals which will he is representing on that particular bestowal, all the way from the Father, the Son, the Infinite Spirit, etc., etc., etc.
And the combinations thereof.
And the combinations thereof. And each of the 7 bestowals is the representation of one of those 3 deities or the combination of those 3 deities, right? Okay,
Yes.
and paper 119 explains that. Okay. Millie, let's go on.
On each creature level, experientially to portray the acme of creature life to paradise deity and to all universe intelligences.
So he has to live the perfect life in each type of these beings, doesn't he? Right?
He did.
Each
He
one,
did.
he did.
When he left, they were all unhappy.
That's that's right.
Wherever he was, they loved him.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, let's go on, Millie.
5. On each creature level, experientially to reveal one phase of the sevenfold will of deity to the bestowal level and to all universe.
Okay, so each and every creature level, he had to reveal one of the sevenfold will of deity. You see that? The actual will of that deity to the bestowal level and to all the universe. So he had to be a perfect example of that will to those universes, right? Okay, Millie.
But by the time he did it 7 times, he had told them everything.
That's right, everything, covered everything. Okay.
6. Experientially to unify the sevenfold creature experience with the sevenfold experience of consecration to the revelation of the nature and will of deity.
Okay, so he reveals in in all 7 of these the same experience we have to on our climb to paradise. Okay, so he has to unify all the sevenfold creature experience, the same thing we go through, to and the will of the deities all the way up through this. We climb up, and he came down. Right? That's why they call them descending sons of God. Okay, let's go on, Millie.
Number 7. To achieve new and higher relationship with the Supreme Being. The repercussion of the totality of this creator-creature experience augments the super-universe reality of God the Supreme and the time-space sovereignty of the Almighty Supreme, and factualizes the supreme local universe sovereignty of a Paradise Michael.
Okay, so we know that God the Supreme is the experiential God, right? That's evolving, right? So he tries to bridge this relationship of this evolving supreme being of experience to us, right? And that includes on down, even past us, to God the Supreme and the Almighty Supreme, which will be the manifestation after the 7 super universes reach light and life. Remember when we studied this months and months ago? That's what they're talking about here. All right, let's keep going.
In settling the question of sovereignty in a local universe, the Creator Son is not only demonstrating his own fitness to rule, but is also revealing the nature and portraying the sevenfold attitude of the Paradise deities. The finite understanding and creature appreciation of the Father's primacy is concerned in the adventure of a Creator Son when he condescends to take upon himself the form and experiences of his creatures. These primary Paradise Sons are the real revealers of the Father's loving nature and beneficent authority, the same Father who, in association with the Son and the Spirit, is the universal head of all power, personality, and government throughout all the universal realms.
So when all's said and done, God, the Son of God reveals what? The personality of the Father, right? And our relationship to the Father and the Trinity. That's what it's all about. All right. The Michael bestowals 4. There are 7 groups of bestowed Creator Sons. They are so classified in accordance with the number of times they have bestowed themselves upon the creature of their realms. They range from the initial experience up to through 5 additional spheres of progressive bestowal until they attain the 7th and final episode of creature-creator experience. So they group all the Michaels within these 7 bestowals. So a Michael is classified depending on what level of the bestowals he has finished. That's what they're talking about, the 7 levels, or the 7 groups. Okay? So that's how they're classified. Rodney.
The violent bestowals are always in the likeness of mortal flesh, but the 7 bestowals of a Creator Son evolve his appearing on 7 creature levels of being and pertain to the revelation of the 7 primary expressions of the will and nature of deity. Without exception, all Creator Sons pass through the 7 times giving of themselves to their created children before they assume settled and supreme jurisdiction over the universes of their own creation.
So we know abonal sons are magisterial sons, right? And all of 7 of their bestowal are what? As mortals. All 7 of them. Not as different level beings, but all 7 of them as mortals. And then they become part of the staff of the Michael in which they're under all the time. That's what they're talking about. But the Michael bestowals are always all 7 levels of the created beings. That's the difference.
So they all move at different speeds, because if Jesus is 611, 121 of the Creator Sons, and there were 150 of the selected Creator Sons to attend the conclave, that means that possibly from number 2 on, that they haven't actually finished their 7
They may
bestowals
not have. They do it
for
at
whatever reasons.
for whatever
But
different
even-
rates.
Because with ours, he made it through quickly compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, and it took billions of years, and he made
Right.
it through quickly.
Right.
So, but different universes, because of their progression of creation, how quickly they're going, they will achieve that at different levels. In other words, they might, dozens of them start out at the same time, but they will not reach that level at the same time. They all will be, some will be faster, some will be slower. Right?
Yeah, any given time.
Yeah, at any given time. Okay. Who's up? Millie? Millie, I
Yeah.
think you're up.
Through these 7 bestowals, though these 7 bestowals vary in the different I can't read that.
Sectors.
Sectors and universes, they always embrace the mortal bestowal adventure. In the final bestowal, a creator son appears as a member of one of the higher races of some inhabited world, usually as a member of that racial group which contains the largest hereditary legacy of the Adamic stock.
Yeah.
Which has previously been imported to upset the physical status of the animal origin peoples. Only once in his sevenfold career has the bestowal son is a paradise Michael born of woman, as you have the record of the babe in Bethlehem. Only once does he live and die as a member of the lowest order of evolutionary world creatures.
Okay, notice here also that it states that they're usually always part of the Adamic stock. So from that we automatically know that each of them gets a material son and daughter, an Adam and Eve, don't they? Okay, so normally the bestowal son is usually a descendant from that Adamic stock, because it's raised the people from an animal origin people to a more civilized people,
So
right?
the Jewish people had a higher level of
Of
Adamic
the
stock.
Adamic stock than any others. That's right. Okay.
Mm.
All right.
After each of his bestowals, a creator son proceeds to the right hand of the Father, there to gain the Father's acceptance of the bestowal, and to receive instruction preparatory to the next episode of universe service. Following the seventh and final bestowal, a creator son receives from the universal Father supreme authority and jurisdiction over his universe.
So he gets this authority direct from God the Father at the end of the bestowal, right? So remember Sunday when we talked about
Thought adjuster.
the thought adjuster going to the Father. This is just the first step. That's right, the exhausted thought adjuster. You missed it, Rodney. Sunday I made a error in words, and we were talking about an exalted thought and I said an exhausted thought adjuster, and he was pretty tired after the bestowal. So anyway, but he gets his authority directly from the universal Father. Okay. It is of record that the divine son of last appearance on your planet was a paradise creator son who had completed 6 phases of his bestowal career. Consequently, when he gave up the conscious grasp of his incarnated life on Urantia, he could and did truly say, "It is finished." That's the last thing that Jesus said on the cross, right? It was literally finished. His death on Urantia completed his bestowal career, and it was the last step in fulfilling the sacred oath of a paradise creator son. And when this experience has been acquired, such sons are supreme universe sovereigns. No longer do they rule as vicegerents of the Father, but in their own right and name as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I'm going to cry. I got to get it together here. With certain states exceptions, these 7-fold bestowal sons are unqualifiedly supreme in the universe of their abode. Concerning his local universe, all power in heaven and on earth was relegated to this triumphant and enthroned master son. So it is right to call Jesus King of Kings and Lord of Lords, right? He finished his bestowal on this planet.
Doesn't mean chill bumps.
It does. Rodney, would you take the next one?
Creator sons, subsequent to the completion of their bestowal careers, are reckoned as a separate order, 7-fold master sons. In person, the master sons are identical with the creator sons, but they have undergone such a unique bestowal experience that they are commonly regarded as a different order. When a creator deigns to effect a bestowal, a real and permanent change is destined to take place. True, the bestowal son is still and nonetheless a creator, But he has added to his nature the experience of a creature, which forever removes him from the divine level of a creator's son and elevates him to the experiential plane of a master son, one who has fully earned the right to rule a universe and administer its worlds. Such beings embody all that can be secured from divine parentage and embrace everything to be derived from perfected creature experience. Why should man bemoan his lonely origin and enforced evolutionary career when the very gods must pass through an equivalent experience before they are accounted experientially worthy and competent finally and fully to rule over their universe domains?
So next time we want to complain about our existence on this planet, we have to remember even the Creator sons have to go through the same process.
We've only been here less than 100 years.
Yeah, and we've been here less than 100 years, and they were around for billions of years, right? So we have nothing to complain about, right? All right.
5. Relation of master sons to the universe. The power of a Master Michael is unlimited because derived from experienced association with the Paradise Trinity is unquestioned because derived from actual experience. Did I read this right?
Yeah.
Derived from actual experience as the very creature subject to such authority. The nature of the sovereignty of a sevenfold Creator Son is supreme because it embraces the sevenfold viewpoint of Paradise deity, embodies the sevenfold attitude of time-space creatures, and perfectly synthesizes Paradise attitude and creature viewpoint.
All right. So the nature of their sovereignty is viewed as supreme because of these three things. Okay, the viewpoint of Paradise deity, the viewpoint or the attitude of space, time-space creatures, which is us, right? And it synthesizes both these attitudes at the same time, right? All right.
This experiential sovereignty is thus all-inclusive of the divinity of God the Sevenfold, culminating in the Supreme Being. And the personal sovereignty of a sevenfold Son is like the future sovereignty of the sometime to be completed Supreme Being, embracing as it does the fullest possible content of the power and authority of the Paradise Trinity, manifestable within the time-space limits concerned.
Okay, and we remember what God the Sevenfold is, from the charts. Okay, all right, and it talks about the future sovereignty of the sometime to be completed Supreme Being, and this is the experiential part of sovereignty. So you see why the connection of the Creator sons are so close to the Supreme Being, right? Each Creator son adds to that experience of the Supreme Being. Okay. With the achievement of supreme local universe sovereignty, there passes from a Michael son the power and opportunity to create entirely new types of creature beings during the present universe age. But a master son's loss of power to originate entirely new orders of beings in no way interferes with the work of life elaboration already established and in progress of unfoldment. This program of vast universe evolution goes on without interruption or curtailment. The acquirement of supreme sovereignty by a master son implies the responsibility of personal devotion to the fostering and administering of that which has already been designed and created, and of that which will subsequently be produced by those who have been thus designed and created. In time there may develop an almost endless evolution of diverse beings, but no entirely new pattern or type of intelligent creature will henceforth take direct origin from a master son. This is the first step, the beginning of a settled administration in the local universe. So once a creator son becomes a master son, he can no longer create any type of new type of being. He has to settle and be happy with the types of beings he's already created. Right? All right. Rodney, would you take the next one?
The elevation of the sevenfold bestowable Son to the unquestioned sovereignty of his universe means the beginning of the end of age-long uncertainty and relative confusion. Subsequent to this event, that which cannot be sometimes spiritualized will eventually be disorganized. That which cannot be sometime coordinated with cosmic reality will eventually be destroyed. When the provisions of endless mercy and nameless patience have been exhausted in an effort to win the loyalty and devotion of the will creatures of the realms, justice and righteousness will prevail. That which mercy cannot rehabilitate, justice will eventually annihilate.
The wages of sin is death, right? Comes back to the same thing. That which can't be taught and revealed spiritual concepts and got in line with cosmic reality, the force will be taken out of them and they will be destroyed, right? Rebellion is not an option, not if you want to survive, right? And that's what they're talking about here, right? It always comes back to eventually the mercy wears out, doesn't it? So they're as patient as they can possibly be, giving us every opportunity to do that which is right and become righteous. And eventually, if we don't fall in line, that which is given to us will be taken away. You know, just like the parable. Okay, Millie.
Speaker on the Master Michaels are supreme in their own local universes once they have been installed as sovereign ruler. The few limitations upon their rule are those inherent in the cosmic preexistence of certain forces and personalities. Otherwise, these Master Sons are supreme in authority, responsibility, and administrative power in their respective universes. They are as creators and gods, supreme in virtually all things. There is no penetration beyond their wisdom regarding the functioning of a given universe.
So they've gone the whole gamut. They've come all the way from paradise, they become all the way down as mortals, and then they rule as experiential sovereigns all the way across the board. Okay?
After his elevation to settled sovereignty in a local universe, the Paradise Michael is in full control of all other sons of God, functioning in his domain, and he may freely rule in accordance with his concept of the needs of his realms. A Master Son may at will vary the orders of the spiritual adjudication and evolutionary adjustment of the inhabited planets, and such sons do make and carry out the plans of their own choosing in all matters of special planetary needs, in particular regarding the worlds of their creatures' sojourn, and still more concerning the realm of terminal bestowal, the planet of incarnation in the likeness of mortal flesh.
So it's totally up to the Creator Son how this world is adjudicated, right? And what goes on this planet. It's totally up to the Creator Son, right? Alright. They're also, oh, before I move off that too, they're also in charge of all sons of God. That includes magisterial and Trinity teacher sons. They are all under the purview of the Master Michaels at this point, right? Alright. The Master Sons seem to be in perfect communication with their bestowal worlds. Not only the worlds of their personal sojourn, but all worlds whereon a magisterial son has bestowed himself. This contact is maintained by their own spiritual presence, the Spirit of Truth, which they are able to pour out upon all flesh. These Master Sons also maintain an unbroken connection with the eternal Mother Sun at the center of all things. They possess a sympathetic reach which extends from the universal Father on high to the lowly races of planetary life in the realm. So it's through Michael and the Spirit of Truth that we are connected to the eternal Mother, Son of God and the Father, right? Through the Spirit of Truth. There's all that we have that connection all the way up and back down again, and it's because of these master sons who bestowed the Spirit of Truth. Okay?
Okay,
Rodney.
6. Destiny of the Master Michaels. No one may, with finality of authority, presume to discuss either the natures or the destinies of the sevenfold Master Sovereigns of the local universes. Nevertheless, we all speculate much regarding these matters. We are taught, and we believe, that each Paradise Michael is the absolute of the dual deity concepts of his origin. Thus he embodies actual phases of the infinity of the Universal Father and the Eternal Son. The Michaels must be partial in relation to total infinity, but they are probably absolute in relation to that part of infinity concerned in their origin. But as we observe their work in the present universe age, we detect no action that is more than finite. Any conjectured superfinite capacities must be self-contained and as yet unrevealed.
So everything they do is within the finite universes that they've created. They don't make any action past the finite. And what are we talking about? They don't make any action into what? Havona, things like that, into the transcendental, that sort of thing. They also makes no action into the outer space levels, right? Everything they do has to do with the finite universe, right? And they do not know what super finite capabilities that these Michaels have, because none of them move outside their realm of activity at this point, right? But the future could hold anything. We just do not know. All right? Millie.
The completion of the creature bestowal careers and the elevation to supreme universe sovereignty must signify the completed liberation of a Michael's finite action capacities, accompanied by the appearance of capacity for more than finite service. For in this connection, we note that such master sons are then restricted in the production of new types of creature beings, a restriction undoubtedly made necessary by the liberation of their superfinite potentialities.
So that's why they're not allowed to make new types of beings, because these new types of beings may have some sort of superfinite personalities or actions, things like that. And they're not allowed to do that when they become master sons. Not in this universe age, anyway. Okay.
It is highly probable that these undisclosed creator powers will remain self-contained throughout the present universe age. But sometime in the far distant future, in the now mobilizing universes of outer space, we believe that the liaison between a sevenfold master son and a seventh-stage creative spirit may attain to absolute levels of service and attended by the appearance of new things, meanings, and values on transcendental levels of ultimate universe significance.
So we don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? Both the creative Mother Spirit and the Master Son may have capabilities we don't even know on. Just as the deity of the Supreme is actualizing by virtue of experiential service, so are the Creator Sons achieving the personal realization of the Paradise divinity potentials bound up in their unfathomable natures. When on Urantia, Christ Michael once said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." And we believe that in eternity the Michaels are literally destined to be the way, the truth, and the life, ever blazing the path for all universe personalities as it leads from supreme divinity through ultimate absolutity to eternal deity finality. And this was presented by a perfecter of wisdom from Uversa. I am the way, the truth, and the life.
They are our ultimate guide.
That's right. It's amazing, isn't it? Man. Sweetie, you want to say a prayer for us to close?
Oh. Thank you, Universal Father, Universal Mother. Thank you for this information. Help us to penetrate our spirits and to bring forth the knowledge to others as we share in our daily lives. We just thank you for this wonderful revelation that blesses our hearts and our souls. And we are grateful for this opportunity to have this group together to study and learn and share and to be with others, to be with each other. It is in your name, Jesus Christ, Michael of Nebadon, we give thanks. Amen.
Amen. Thank you at home for joining us. Please come see us again. God bless you.